Hi guys, this is Lori. I am at Lore Stitches on Instagram and at Lore Stitches here. This will be my second floss tube. My first floss tube I filmed on January 2nd and it took me 2 weeks almost, because today's the 14th. Almost 2 weeks to figure out how to add text to the video because I was tired of refilming it because I made mistakes. So I watched the whole thing through twice and kind of found some spots where I wanted to change some things. And so I could not figure out in iMovie how to add the text, and I finally figured that out yesterday and got that uploaded. So you'll probably see these two pretty quick back to back, but they're actually filmed a couple weeks apart. So I am going over today my 2023 plans, and I don't usually write down and actually plan my plans. That sounds kind of weird. But what I mean by that is I'm a mood stitcher. And so usually I will just grab whatever I feel like working on, or many times I will work on so many things at once that I will grab nothing and end up on my phone or watching YouTube or watching a movie or whatever, something else, because I won't be able to decide what to do, which is why I really feel like Facebook challenge groups and stitching prompts help keep me focused on getting things done. So I'm really hoping to stick to these 2023 plans and see if that helps my stitching progress at all. So first of all, I belong to several Facebook groups that have stitching challenges and stitching prompts. One of which I mentioned before was the WIPGO Facebook group. I don't post a whole lot in there, but I keep up with it on Facebook, and I use the board every month when she calls those numbers. And so I have a photo of my board for this year. I actually did create it before she called the numbers, which was actually kind of an achievement for me. Let me pull it up because it's in my digital planner. I just posted a photo of it in here. So actually on my phone, I've got some of these finished. I'm going to try not to make it a glare, but this, yeah, it's going to glare a little bit anyway. Sorry about that. So this is my WIPGO board. And so she's called number 6, which is that Halloween sampler that I'm really mad at. And then number 10 for January, so July's Amethyst Fairy. And I have actually already completed some of these on here. I gotta think about which ones, because I know I made some of them black already. Oh, the D&D office space, it's somewhere on here, right here, so it's number 9. I actually finished that on January 3rd. So anyway, that's my WIPGO board this year. And I also belong to Fandom Stitching Central, which is brand new for me this year. They're doing, last year they did a Star Wars theme, and this year they're doing Lord of the Rings theme, and I'm a total nerd, and I love Lord of the Rings, and so I'm super excited to be a part of that group this year. I'm on Team Elves. Go Team Elves! And the first week is finished, and I completed every challenge in the first week. And I got done early enough with the first week that I was able to knock out some of the monthly stitching challenges. I got the Hobbit cartoon already finished, and I stitched during that, so I earned some extra points for that. And my gosh, I haven't seen that movie in forever. I am old enough that I was 2 years old when that movie was out. And my dad loves Lord of the Rings, so I remember watching that. I remember Gollum from that movie, so when I got to the cartoon part of Gollum, I remembered him, so that, whatever reason, stuck in my brain from when I was a little kid. But it's only like an hour or so long, so it skips a whole lot of the book. And then I belong to Sane, so I'm not participating in any of the January challenges because I didn't see any that kind of reached out and grabbed me and made me think like, hey, I want to participate in that. They have the snowball one, which is really fun, but I didn't sign up for it before January started because I was in New York the last week in December, and so I was there actually for training for work, not for funsies, although we stayed a couple extra days and made it fun. And then I belong to the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch group and Virtual Stitchers and lots of the Stitch from Stash, although I haven't stitched from Stash. I still buy stuff all the time, and that's bad. So I need to participate in that group, but I don't. Anyway, so I'm going to try. So yeah, those are some of the Facebook groups with the stitching challenges and prompts that I participate in and have fun with, and they keep me going. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to keep up with those and see how we do. So I have actually planned to have 6 finishes this year. 3 are definites and 3 are maybe we'll get done with those. But like I was saying in my last video, I tend to underestimate how much stitching is actually left. And I'm like, yeah, I can finish that. I'm close. And I don't. It's a lot more than I think it is. So the first one I had on my list was the D&D Workspace, which I did finish. And I have a photo of it because it is at the framer. I took it to the framer last weekend because it is a gift for my husband. He's going to hang it at work. And I kind of wanted a tavern-y type feel to it because it's Dungeons and Dragons, right? And let me show you. I snapped a picture of it. Again, this is going to be on my iPad, so we'll see if I can get it. So you've entered my workspace, roll for initiative, is what it says. And so I finished that on January 3rd. It was right after filming my last video. And I took it to Joann's to be framed. They had a 60% off plus 10% off coupon. And I'm like, yes, right? We'll go get this framed. It'll be awesome. I had it all ironed. I ran into town. Went to buy Joann's, and apparently their framing department has been closed since March of 2020. And that's how long it's been since I've had anything framed. It's been way longer than that, actually. Okay, I take that back. 2 years ago, I think in 2020, I finished WIPGO and I got 2 bingos, and so I sent 2 pieces off to Jill Rensel to be framed, right? But she's in Utah, I think. No, she might have moved. I don't remember. Anyway, Rensel Framing Studios. I sent those 2 off to be framed there, and so those are the last things I've had framed. But when I do something smaller, I will get it framed locally. I don't have a local framing shop because I live way out in the country, but I'll just run into town and hit one of the hobby shops that I have to pick up something at anyway. So Joann's didn't have anything. They said, oh yeah, the only Joann's in this state that has anything left is in this town that's like an hour away. And I'm like, no, thank you. So I ran across the street to Michael's, and they had a framing department that was open. And so I was able to find this really neat black mat to put around it. I think it'll look really good against that light brown fabric. And then I found a wooden frame that has like a lot of scratches and stuff in it. So it felt like that tavern-y type feel for me. And so it should be back next week. They said that since it's after the holidays now, they're going through a lot of their stuff faster. So they thought it'd be about 2 weeks. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm excited to have that back. I don't know if I'll actually see it at home before my husband grabs it and takes it straight to work. So we'll see. He said he's going to have a big D20 on his desk, and then anybody that walks in has to roll it. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's finished. So I actually have one of my 6 finish goals finished. So I'm excited. The next one that I have on my to be finished is the Supernatural Sampler. And I showed that to you in my last video, and I really have like 2.5 lines of text to stitch out, plus the back stitching in the car. And I really think that I can get that one done in no time. So that's another one that's on my goal. And then Midnight Enchanter is my big wizard. I showed that one to you last time too. I have left on that one all the half stitch on one side, and then he's got a big, I think it's half stitch moon behind him. So I really don't think it's even full cross. And then there's like a purple little swoosh at the top, and then the back stitching and the charms. And again, I underestimate things, but I really do think with that being half stitches that I could knock that out pretty quick. And then Night's Watch Oath. So that one I showed you last time, it's on the black fabric, and all of the verse is already completely stitched on that. So I need to do the frame that's around it. There's a big eagle at the top, and then there's a bigger frame around it with some swords and stuff. All of that is in one color if I decide not to change the one color. So I think that if I put a focus on that, I could knock that out too, being one color. And then what was another one? Santa's Sleigh. So that one's really not very large piece, and I don't have a huge chunk of it done, but I don't feel like it would really take that long if I can make it a focus. Most of the stitching in it is in the back end of the sleigh, and that's where I have the bigger chunk done. And the front end is just mostly the frame of the sleigh with some ribbons, if I remember right. So I don't think that would take very long either to do. And then my last one is a piece that I even forgot to show you in my last video, and I can't even believe it because it's most of the way done, and it's my Lady of the Flag. So Mirabilia is the designer. I'm doing it on We the People fabric by Fabric Flare, and I'm doing the blue conversion, and I have it here to show you because I forgot last time. So I'm leaning way back here so that we can get it all in there. So this was on my WIPGO board last year, and my WIPGO goal was I had a little bit of her, I'm doing her skin 1/1, and I had a little bit of it done like right up here. So my goal was to finish her arm and then get her chest and face done. And I did that. So that goal was completed, and I even started on her hair. And so I think my WIPGO goal this year was, and I've already put it away on my planner, I think it was to do this arm because this arm is up here holding a torch. So I'm going to do that, the torch, the hair as my goal. And then I have the big flag, right, that lays right down here over her dress through her arm. And then the Liberty banner at the bottom, and then the beading and the back stitching. But I don't think there's a whole lot of back stitching. So, but this is one that I would love to be able to get finished this year as well. So while my goal, realistically, because I know myself, is to just finish the arm and the torch and the hair, I would really, really, really like to finish it this year. So so I have 3 that I definitely think I can get done. Obviously I finished one of them, so that one's done. My Supernatural Sampler, no problem, it's gonna get done. Midnight Enchanter is kind of on the iffy side. Santa's Sleigh and Night's Watch Oath, I'm probably underestimating that. And Lady of the Flag, I'm probably really underestimating what's left because that flag's pretty big. But those are my goals, and you know, I may not meet all those goals, but I'm gonna try. So that's what I'm planning as far as goals this year. And if I complete those, some of those are pretty big projects, and that would be probably the most I've completed in a year, except for like little things like, you know, these little pillows, and I've got some of those all over the house and stuff. But those are all pretty large pieces, and I would be so pleased if I could get those done. That would be so awesome. And while I was at Michael's getting the D&D Office Space one framed, they had a frame there that was kind of a navy blue, and it had bronze colored stars on it. I thought, gosh, wouldn't Lady of the Flag look so good in that? And as big of a piece as that is, I would normally send that off to Jill Rensel to be framed, but gosh, I really love that frame. So I'm gonna have to think about that. All of my ladies I've sent to Jill Rensel framing, and I sent an Eke Circles design to be done there, and a piece I did for my grandfather who was in the Navy. It was a Glendon Place design for the Navy. I sent that one there, and I know there's more because I sent 2 last year. I sent my Summer Fairy Spirit by Passiano Ricamo, and a Skeleton Crew I sent there. So yeah, but that frame, I just feel like it would go so well with that design. Eesh, what do you guys think? It would be so good because it already have the blue in it, and she's done in blue. And I could do like red and white mats or something. That would be sweet. So yeah, I'll have to decide on that one. But when I saw it, I was like, Lady of the Flag. So we'll see. We'll see. I got to get her done first, and then maybe their department will close. I don't even know. So we'll see. And then I have planned new starts, and I decided, because this is the first time I've ever planned how many new starts I'm going to do, that I'm going to go with like an even 12, right? One per month-ish. That doesn't mean I have to start one per month, but, and I kind of have plans for, if I'm starting this one, I need to finish this other one because it kind of goes into a similar category sort of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm going to do. So, one of those that I would like, I've got some of my new starts here. One of those I want to do is Bella Filipina. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Gaia, the Earth Goddess. And I think I'd like to complete Lady of the Flag before I start this one because it's a lady. And I have a ton of ladies. I have Bluebeard's Princess, so a mermaid. I have Dark Queen of the Sea. I have Lady of the Flag. July's Amethyst Fairy. So I got lots. And speaking of Dark Queen of the Sea, I have Dark Queen of the Earth fabric on the way. So that might also be a start. See, this is why I leave space. Anyway, so yeah, I love this design. And I have a bunch of Bella Filipinas, and I haven't started one yet. So I am anxious to start this one. She is beautiful. And I think I have a really cool fabric I want to do her on. Might be thinking of another design for it, but anyway, that's one of the ones I want to do. So that's definitely on my list. I tried to take them out of the bag so there'd be no glare. I ordered this Hummingbirds by Al Force Embroidery after seeing Sammy J. Stitches do this. My grandparents, who both passed away in the last couple of years, and my mom and my in-laws love hummingbirds. They all love hummingbirds. So I just love this, and I love the colors, the bright purples and pinks and greens. Like, yes, give them all to me. Those are my favorite colors. So this is one I want to start. I'm not sure how big this piece, 115 by 148. It's medium-ish, right? So, and that comes in a kit already, so hey, it's pretty much ready to go. I don't necessarily have a design in mind to finish before I start that one, and obviously I only have 6 finishes planned and 12 starts planned, so there's going to be some incongruency there. Another one is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. I think I told you before, my husband was in the military for 24 years, and so he loves anything patriotic. And we have I told you before too, we have a finished basement downstairs, and so we have this kind of family room that's around a fireplace with a big TV. But in another section of our basement, I had my husband made a bar, and then for Christmas I went with that whole theme and got him some shelves for behind the bar that were made out of whiskey barrels that look really cool. And so we want to get like a game table for down there so that we can play tabletop games, or you know, some of my uncles love playing poker and stuff like that. So we have a pool table already down there, a dart set. So we want to kind of complete that. And he has a lot of his military stuff down there. In fact, the bar that I had made for him has a glass top to it. And so he was able to put a lot of his coins and patches and just memorabilia from being in the military. And so I think that this would look really cool down there in that area where he's got a lot of his stuff. So we'll see if he likes it enough to put it down there. But I've had this pattern for a really, really long time. I don't think I have the crescent colors for it, but it has a DMC conversion, so we'll see. I really like the variegated threads though, so I think it would look pretty with that. So that's another one I'd like to start. And then Nevermore by Lila's Studio. I asked my brother for this for my birthday a couple of years ago, and so he had no idea what he was doing with stitching, and so he found it and bought it for me. I think I actually sent him the link so that he wouldn't get lost in the madness. But yeah, so he got that for me, so I'd really like to get that one done. And I actually have a lot of the threads for it already, so I just need to find a fabric and get going on it. I love Halloween. I love ravens. It's my jam. And it goes in the Halloween bag, so. And then because I want to start a bajillion things that are medium or larger, I figured a small would be good. So I think I want to start the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. It's 100 by 130, so it's on the smaller side. I've been seeing a lot of people stitching this, and I just love it. So cute. And I have a little needle minder that says "for Fox's sake" on it, so I'm gonna have to use it with this. So yeah, that's another one that I kind of just added recently. And then I've had this design for a while and actually forgot about it because I have a bunch of bags. They're like right over here. You can't really see them very well. That I have thrown in some designs that I want to work on soon. And then I forgot because they weren't in my binders where all my other patterns were. So I forgot I had some of them. So I pulled those out the other day and found this one. I was like, yes, I want to start that. And I have all the, I've even pulled the fabric and the threads for this one. It's kind of a sagey green fabric. I think this design will look good on this. So that's another one I want to start. And then I showed you last time the cross stitch Christmas, and I had seen this on Instagram where somebody had started this, and I kept calling it Woodland Christmas, but it's actually called Evergreen Sampler. There's a whole section in here called, well, like, look, everything, single thing has Woodland Christmas on it. But yeah, anyway, it is 180 by 180, so it's on the larger side too. So I'm kind of like, but I'm afraid I'll forget about it if I don't start it soon. And then two things that I have, and I tried to print these out to show them, but I'm out of black ink. So it was printing out with no black and it looked terrible. So this one has a curse word in it, so be aware. This is Supernatural, right? So this is one where I want to finish my Supernatural sampler first and then do this one. And if you watch Supernatural, you know this line. So I definitely want to start that one. And I want to say it's not super huge. Let me look. Yeah, so the pattern is like 110 by 80. So that one shouldn't be too bad. And then another one that I want to start is a Heaven and Earth design. So you know that's going to take me 73,000 years to finish. But hey, it's whatever. Not wanting to load now. Here we go. It is Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. And it is this design. And I've seen some people doing it. And what I really like about this Heaven and Earth designs, you know how you're stitching 1 over 1 and it takes you so long to get to anything cool in the pattern, you know? But this, like, look, you got cool stuff like right away. Look up here in this corner. You got that cool little owl, the window, the knight in shining armor. Like, you get to cool stuff right away in this piece. So I think maybe that would keep me going on a little bit more. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because I don't have Jack's, 9. Jack's Bash, and then the Evergreen Sampler are not on the list that I have here. So 9, 10, 11. So that leaves me 3 more that I can do if something really cool is released this year and I'm like, I got to do that. But also remember Dark Queen of the Earth is coming. I think I get my fabric on Monday or Wednesday. I have the design already. And there's no way I'm going to keep up with it, just like I didn't keep up with Dark Queen of the Sea. But anyway, yeah, so those are my plans, finishes and starts. And I do want to show you the progress that I've gotten done since my last video. One of them is not so much. And this is actually the WIPGO goal for this piece, is the Halloween sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I told you guys about how I was mad at this piece last time. And I said I think that there's something wrong between the O's or the E's in creepy. I actually was filling out a project card for this, and I wanted to see how many days I had stitched on it since I started it. So I went back to Instagram because I usually keep that up to date. When I'm putting a piece away, I'll take a picture of it, post it, and then put it away. And so I went back and found out that it wasn't these where the mistake was. It was between Abra and Cadabra. I had left too much space there between the A and the C. And I said, nope, I'm not going to pull it out because it's only going to be me that notices, blah, 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 whatever. And I kept looking at it. And then once I saw that that was too far apart, that's all I could see. And I was mad. And then I was like, every other thing under here is not going to match up with the top. And there are some, like there's the moon and the bats, and there's some other little things that go all through here. And I'm going to get off again if I don't redo this. I'm going to get off again somewhere down here because of it. So I pulled out all of Abra. I had to pull out the moon as well. And then I had a Lord of the Rings piece where I had to stitch on something with food in it, and this has pumpkin. So I restitched all of this. So I still have this last piece of the A that comes down here. And then of course my Dracula is now too close to this A. But I think what I'm going to do is for WIPGO, I have Eek, Frankenstein, and Goblins I think is down here. I'm going to start Eek based on up here where I'm supposed to start it and just keep going. And then that way, when I ever want to go back and fix this, I can yank it and fix it. Of course, I might have to do that before I start Frankenstein. But there's a prompt in the Lord of the Rings one this week about a trick, and this has imitate in it. So I think I'm going to kind of put those together somehow. And then start on Eek so I can start working on my WIPGO goal and this one at the same time. This is driving me nuts because it's like barely on the edge of this fabric and it's not holding it very well. But anyway, so this actually doesn't look much different than the last time you saw it because I just pulled all this part out and redid it. There, moving on. I'm still mad at this piece. I'm still mad. And then the other piece that I pulled was my Midnight Enchanter. So the one that I want to finish. So that's why I feel like I could get done with this. So I'll try to insert a picture of what this looked like last time. And then now I did not have any of this done. All of this was my goal on WIPGO. And this was quite a few stitches. I did, I think 1670 something. And then I decided to make it work for something else, and I kept going, and I had over 800 more half stitches. So, you know, our prompts were like 200 stitches, but that's full stitches, right? So I would have to do 400 tent stitches to equal that. So I had stitch in green and stitch in blue, so I made those work. And I can't remember what else I had. But I basically completed my WIPGO goal in 1 week using those prompts. So I felt pretty awesome about that, I'm not gonna lie. He's got part of the moon behind him, so you can see I've started some of it right here, some of it right here. That was there before, but this moon is like big round moon right behind him, but I still think it's all half stitches. I'm not sure, I'm not 100%. And then the swoosh, and then the back stitching. There's a lot of back stitching down here in the book, and his wizard robe and his face and all that stuff. And then the charms. But I still think that that gets me one step closer to finishing this year. So I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, that's all the progress that I've done in the last couple of weeks. I was, let's see. So the first week I did all that, and my stitching days are actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's when I have off. But I also have to do other things during that time, right? Like clean the house, you know, the dumb stuff you gotta do. Take the dogs to the vet if they need to go. Go to the doctor's appointment if I need to go. Like all that stuff gets scheduled during that time. So I haven't yet started stitching on week 1 goal or week 2 goals. But I'm definitely gonna start today on the Eek stitching on the Halloween sampler, and then see what else I can fit in. There's one where you have to stitch on something that's either a statue or made of stones. The trick one, I forget the rest of them. But I know I'm going to find some stuff to get done this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. So those are what I've done this week. And then I do have a little bit of haul. You know how Mirabilia, sometimes stuff goes out of print. And there were some of her older designs that I wanted because I love the conversions that are done in some of these. And so I picked them up. My mom's husband, he bought me a gift card to 123 Stitch for Christmas. He doesn't have to, and I told him that because she has passed away, but he wants to. So I love stitching, and he knows that. So he sent me a gift card to 123 Stitch, so I was able to pick up the Petal Fairy. And I don't generally like yellows, oranges, reds, things like that, but there's a conversion that's done for this in much prettier, like purples. And of course, you know me in purple, so yes, I want to do that. Same thing with the Feather Fairy. I think there's one done in pinks for her that's really pretty, but I'm gonna have to look at them all and see. So I picked up the Feather Fairy and then the Bliss Fairy. So these are older, and I was just worried that they would kind of go out of print. And then I picked up Garden Prelude. This is one of the newer ones, I think. I love violins, and she's playing one. And I got two. And I thought, oh gosh, they made a mistake when they packed my order and they accidentally put two in here. And I picked up my receipt and nope. I think what happened was, I think I had it added to my cart already. And then I added it again and I didn't look. Oh, that's so frustrating. So I ain't stitching it twice. So I'll have to put it up on like Cross Stitch Unload or something. So frustrating. But a lot of these ladies, you know, like Passiana Ricamo and even the Autumn Lane and the Bella Filipina and Mirabilia, they have these background frame things around them, and I don't like to do those. There was one around Summer Fairy Spirit that I did. I might have said Autumn Fairy Spirit before, I don't even know. But I did Summer Fairy Spirit. I didn't stitch the frame around it. And I'm not planning on the Bluebeard's Princess one either. I might do those little sea dragons or sea horses or whatever they are in the corners, but I'm not gonna stitch the frame all the way around her. So I'm not sure that I will do all this in the background. I do like the flowers though. I wonder if I can move those down around her feet. I might do that. Move them down around her feet and just stitch those in her. Because I can just take out whatever around this dress. Oh, that dress is stunning. Anyway, that's the haul that I got. So yeah, now I need to take 2 weeks to edit this video because I got to figure out how to put in some pictures of my previous progress and put them in here somehow. And we'll see if I can get that figured out, and maybe even a little intro thing and look all fancy schmancy. But yeah, so I will try to get this up as soon as I can. And thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye.